We're cheering for the Chanticleer Club this morning, and we've got one of its biggest cheerleaders. Meet him, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Garden City office of Santee Cooper. We're focused on the Chanticleer Club and its upcoming fundraiser on Saturday, June 29th. And we're visiting with the former president of the club, Tom Towns. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Greg. Nice to see you.
Thanks so much for coming in early this Wednesday morning.
Thank you.
Amazing.
It's great to be here.
A lot of stuff happening up and down the Strand, and the Chanticleers are coming on strong.
Absolutely.
And you're wearing your teal tie there. That is
right.
Fancy. That's the blue. Well, of course, I can't say the blue stripe there. The non-Duke blue stripe is the teal of
This colors of the Chanticleers, teal and black.
Which are very nice. Congratulations. And of course, and you're actually a graduate of Coastal Carolina.
Right. Absolutely. 78.
Is that right? 78.
Mm-hmm.
Are you originally from the area, Tom?
No. Grew up in Charleston, South Carolina.
You still have family in Charleston?
Absolutely. I have a son, Scott, and a daughter, Ashley, and they both graduated from College of Charleston and stayed there, and they work in Mount Pleasant and Charleston.
Is that right? But
right.
you live. Were they raised in Charleston or here in the area?
No. They both graduated from Conway High School.
Oh, really? Good.
Right, yeah.
Before heading down to the College of Charleston.
Right, that's exactly right. I took them to some other schools, but they were too large and they intimidated them, so they decided on the College of Charleston. And being from Charleston, my mother was alive at the time, and aunts and uncles and cousins and sister. So I think they felt more comfortable in attending the College of Charleston.
And you have family still here in this area?
No family in
just your bride, yeah.
Just my wife.
Yeah, just your
Linda.
wife. That's right, Linda. Now, did you and Linda get down to Charleston a lot while Scott and Ashley were in school?
Yeah, we did. We visited them quite often, and Scott and Ashley both came home really about once a month.
Is that right?
Yeah, once every 6 weeks. And
so they probably still come home every 6 weeks.
Well, my son is got a pretty demanding job and with Sunbelt, and he's got a daughter that is almost 3 years old. And in fact, he married a girl from Kimberly Jones, and she was from Myrtle Beach.
Okay,
and
sure.
They get up here often, but not as often as I would like to see that grandchild.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's your 3-year-old granddaughter. Granddaughter.
Right.
What's that like being a grandpa, Tom?
Are
you grandpa? What's your nickname?
She calls me Granddad.
Granddad?
Yep, Granddad. And her name is Sydney, and she is a sport model. I tell you, she really, there's nothing to prepare you for being a grandfather, I tell you. And I wouldn't take anything for a little granddaughter.
And that's your only grandchild?
Only grandchild.
Wow.
My daughter is not married. I'm still pulling for her.
Should take her time.
Yeah,
Tell her to take her time.
She's got plenty of time. She's a successful commercial real estate agent
Is that right? She's doing commercial real estate in Charleston?
In Mount Pleasant, Charleston, yeah.
Good for her.
Yep.
I bet she's very successful.
She is. She's been very successful. Had a great year, but needless to say, this year has slowed up a little.
It'll change. It'll come back.
Absolutely.
That Charleston area is tremendous, Tom. And now you were born in Charleston.
Right. Attended schools there, and then left and went to Clemson.
Okay, good.
And I was in the Coast Guard Reserves. A lot of people joined the reserves back then. I hate to say it, but try to stay out of Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And I got called up when Castro blew the lid off of Cuba, and so I was in the Coast Guard Reserve and stationed in Key West, and we ran key patrols off the coast of Cuba.
Is that right?
Right.
Were you actually down close at Cuba? I mean,
we could see the lights of Havana at night.
No.
We had to stay out. I think it was 2 miles at that time was international limits, and we stayed outside the limits and tried to get to the refugees before Castro's gunboats would kill them. so I'll pick them up.
Golly, Tom, that must have been for a young guy
It was. It was
pretty harrowing to be out there on a boat and even to see.
Well, it was a 165-foot Coast Guard cutter, and I'll never forget the experience. It was called the Ariadne, and I was stationed on board. Most of the guys that were reservists were like me. They were right out of college. They'd been pulled up out of college, called out of college, and I can remember one harrowing experience when Khrushchev had given Castro MiG airplanes, and he put that big red sticker on the side of them, and they came over and buzzed us real close. In fact, came down so close over the top of our ship that the water made waves and on the water, and our captain got on the radio and called Boca Raton Air Base, and it seemed like it was just 4 or 5 minutes. We had a squadron and those MiGs turned tail and went back to Cuba. We were just a few miles off the coast of Cuba.
Golly, that would have been.
It scared me, a little southern redneck that I was, on a big ship out in the middle of the ocean.
With the plane flying that close. Yeah. My God,
yeah.
MiG,
yeah.
Golly.
It did, but it was a good experience. I met while I was there, I met a friend that I had known briefly, and he was working for General Motors. And I told him I was going back to school when I got out, and he told me what he was making. He had a new company car and this, that, and other, and he was making more than a lot of my friends who had graduated from Clemson. So
right.
Anyway, he hooked me up. I took a test with General Motors, and I was fortunate enough to get to the finals, and they picked me, and I went to work in Columbia, South Carolina.
Doing what with General Motors?
Settling claims for them.
Okay, when you say settling claims, that means like what?
Automobile wrecks.
Okay, right.
Really, it was a very stressful job, and I'm glad that things turned out like they did.
Well, but you've got a lot of stories from your time.
I could write a book, yeah.
Yeah, I could write a book. I like that. What would you name that book, you think, Tom?
I remember my claims manager, one of the most brilliant people, more brilliant than I can imagine, and he told me a very interesting statement. He said that you'll have a PhD in people when you get through this job. After about 10 years in this job, Tom, he said that you'll be surprised how people will, when it comes to insurance companies, they have a different attitude. They'll put the hand over the heart and tell you a lie, and then look upstairs and say, Lord, it's only an insurance company. I know you'll forgive me.
Oh, my God.
and boy, that was pretty much true. People, when it comes to an insurance company, but insurance companies aren't perfect, because I've been in the insurance business since then, and I've seen some things that I didn't think were right, too. But
right.
I will say this, General Motors was very, very zealous about making sure that we did things right.
I'm writing that down, Tom. That's a great name for a book, PhD in people.
Yeah.
I like that. That is a great. That's a great idea, because I'm sure you dealt with a lot of folks, both good and bad.
Right. I never will forget. Charlie Coon was his name. He graduated from University of South Carolina in an English and journalism major, and he wrote the best memos and letters that I've ever. Most concise. He could express things better than anybody I think I've ever read. And he later left General Motors and opened a construction company in Columbia, South Carolina. But he was a naturally gifted person. But,
am I correct that when you went to Clemson, did you play baseball up there, Tom?
No,
did your son play baseball somewhere?
No. I had a full, back then it was a big deal, a full scholarship offer to play baseball at Citadel.
Okay.
And I turned it down to go and walk on it at Clemson.
Okay.
And I didn't walk. I joined a fraternity, and I danced more than I walked on it.
I bet you did.
And but anyway, I played in a summer league back then. It's the same thing as the leagues they have now for the college players. I played a couple of years in that and enjoyed it, and coached. In fact, the first year I was in Conway, I helped Dr. Skinner, who is a physics professor out at Coastal. We coached the American Legion team, and and I coached on the playground some. I love baseball, and I love athletics in general because I think it's a venue that affords kids, not high school and college, an opportunity to learn responsibility and discipline. And if you look around, they don't get a lot of that in our society now. But,
so you think athletics, both on the high school, junior high, and earlier levels, as well as clearly on the college level, helps provide both responsibility
and discipline. And if
discipline.
you look at our society, you look at the number of obese people. I mean, I think we need to get back. John Kennedy did a study when he was president, and because I think it was triggered by the success of the Russian Olympic team that in 1959 or 60, whenever it was, and he encouraged high schools and grammar schools to put phys ed in the curriculum, and I think we need it now. Obesity is a terrible problem. Being in the insurance business like I am,
right?
People apply for insurance, and it is unbelievable how many of them are overweight. But
that is terrible.
Anyway,
yeah, that really is an issue.
That's just one of the issues. We're an inactive society, and I think that's a great. Sports great, and if you look at most of the guys who go on and play college sports, they're very successful in life after they get out of college. So now we have some prima donnas in the pros that turn people off, and I don't think you can judge athletics by them.
By the pros necessarily, but of course a lot of them are very special folks.
They are too. Yeah, but the press usually focuses on the most sensational side of any issue, and that's the guys that get in trouble. We don't even have to name them. We just know who you're talking about. It's like Billy Graham said. Somebody asked him about all these preachers getting in trouble, and he said, the news always focuses on the one that does, and them thousands and thousands of them who are doing a good job every day.
Right. And thousands of thousands. Of course, a lot of viewers right before this show started are watching Dr. Arnold Murray, I believe, who's on from 6 to 7. The pastor who comes in, Pastor Murray, and is very special, and he makes some great points at times. And I heard him just recently, last week, talking about not focusing on the bad, but really needing to focus on the good, because so many folks can do bad things. He said Christians are good; they're not worried about the bad.
We tend to have a negative society, and I don't want to get into politics, but politicians catch it. No matter what.
Right.
I say most of them, a lot of them deserve it, but sometimes you hear people just going off in left field and about our politicians, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that is a lot happening out at Coastal Carolina. And speaking of that, if a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, this being one of the last weeks of school here in the area, is there a good phone number for someone to call to learn about the Chanticleer Club and how they can get involved in supporting Coastal Carolina University sports program?
Absolutely. They can call the athletic department, or they can call Melinda Hyman at 234-3428. 234-3428, and the GoCCUsports.com. Is that a good place to check out? Melinda Hyman is director of the Chanticleer Club, which I've been on the board for the last few years.
Sure, we want to talk a little more about that.
She does a great job, and her boss is Mark Roach. He's associate athletic director.
Good, right.
And they're both super people and work hard, and they do a great job for Coastal Carolina athletics.
Oh yeah, and then there's volunteers like you. Now you served as the president of the Chanticleer. It was formerly the Sino Club.
Right.
For 2 years, I believe.
Right.
What years were those, Tom?
2000.
Not to put you on the spot.
2004.
Sure. Okay.
And now we've changed that process so that the president only serves 1 year. I guess they
got tired of Tom.
Yeah. But anyway, we've had some great people on the board, and the purpose of the Chanticleer Club is to raise money for the athletic department and to assist the school in promoting the athletic program at Coastal Carolina University.
Is it a non-profit organization?
501c.
501c3, that's
Yeah,
great.
right.
Okay, so it is entirely a nonprofit organization to support
Exactly right.
CCU's sports program.
Right.
And of course, this fundraiser coming up on Friday,
Yes.
June 29th. I'd said it wrong. I'd earlier said Saturday, so it's Friday, June 29th.
That's exactly
Will
right.
be held where? Let's talk
Crown
about some
Reef.
of the particulars. At the Crown Reef
Crown Reef,
Resort.
yes.
We love that place.
At dinner, open bar, and we have a auction and reverse raffle. Grand prize in reverse raffle is $10,000.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
$10,000.
$10,000. And to top it off, we have Tim Clark and his band.
Oh,
will be
yeah.
providing live music. We have a lot of shaggers in this area.
Yeah, right, sure.
And so it'll be a great night. It always is a great night.
Oh, yeah,
and,
sure.
It costs $200 for a couple.
For a couple.
For a couple.
Not just per person, but
and,
for a couple.
And you get, along with that $200, you get a print of Brooks Stadium. And
You mean like for your wall?
right,
Yeah, a nice
absolutely.
print, sure.
Right. It starts at 6:30.
Okay.
And it'll be a great night. People will really enjoy it. Last year, Roman Gabriel was there.
I remember. That's right. You were kind enough, you and Linda, to invite me. Last year, I had a chance to meet your beautiful daughter, by the way. She is very attractive,
Well, thank
Ashley,
you.
Which
Thank
was wonderful. And some of your friends who were down from Darlington or the PD,
Right.
I hope they're tuning in right now
Charles
to watch
Harden,
it.
he's a banker at
In Darlington.
Darlington County Bank, and his wife. And you say my daughter's beautiful. Fortunately, she looks like her mother.
Yeah, that's right. She doesn't look like her father. Yes, your wife
Absolutely.
is beautiful. I should have said that, Tom, but I don't normally say that about men's wives. So, yes.
But, anyway, the Chanticleer Club is a great organization, and if you think about all the money, 8,000 students at Coastal now,
Oh, yeah, sure.
and the staff and the money, the millions of dollars that Coastal Carolina is putting into the economy in Horry County,
Right.
it sometimes kind of disappoints me. I guess that's maybe too strong a word. The support that we get, we need people to join the Chanticleer Club, and
Why would a viewer want to join the Chanticleer Club if they weren't a graduate like yourself? Was it to help instill the dedication and respect and some of the determination that you talked about in athletes?
all the input that Coastal has, the positive input in our community, in academics, culturally, athletically, it's just it's a great university. Mm-hmm. You know, our golf team right now is ranked number 4 or 5 in the country.
Come on.
We have the third best golfer. Justin is, and I'm drawing a blank on Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson,
yeah,
right, sure.
He is the 3rd ranked amateur player in college in the country.
Is in
he's won
all
kind of
divisions or
awards.
in his division?
In all divisions.
Oh, come on.
Yes, sir. He is a great, and we have, I don't know of a coach at Coastal in women's sports or men's sports that I would not want my son or daughter to play for. I mean, Warren has done, our athletic director.
Warren Kogel.
Yeah, Kogel has done he's affectionately referred to as Moose. I think he got that name at Penn State where he played college football.
Where he played college football,
And,
that's right.
But anyway, he's done a great job of hiring quality people. Gary Gilmore he's taken the baseball team now to, they're ranked, I think, number 11 or 12 in the country. They're going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I understand that for the 8th or 9th time, we've won the Sasser Cup.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Share with viewers real quick what the Sasser Cup is.
Sasser Cup is a measure of overall success in all the men's and women's sports in a college.
Right.
And in the Big South Conference, we had some right tough competition. Liberty and Winthrop, and Winthrop has an outstanding basketball program.
Is that right? Yeah, they do.
Outstanding. They just lost their coach, but I don't really have any trepidation about ours because
Sure.
Buzz Peterson,
Oh, yeah.
as soon as he gets an arena to play in, and before then, we're going to be, he's recruited some great people this year, 6'9", 6'10".
Right, right.
And I think our basketball program he's a quality guy, played under Dean Smith. His
That's right, of course.
His roommate
Michael
on that
Jordan.
team was Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
sorry to give you the answer before we had a chance to say it. We've only got a couple of minutes, Tom. We're running out of time.
Oh, okay.
And I want to make sure you have a chance to highlight on this page some of the tremendous academic as well as athletic success.
Okay, I'm going to start with the men's. In baseball, there are 39 players. 21 of them have a grade point ratio between 3 and 4.
Wow.
16 between 2 and 3. Football, 127, and that sounds like a lot, but anybody who comes out and plays or tries out has to be listed.
Is that right?
Yes,
Sure.
sir. And so 127 football players, 44 of them have between 3 and 4.
Is that right? That's tremendous.
Absolutely. Track team, 42, 16 of them have grade point ratio between 3 and 4. Soccer, same thing. Tennis, 7 out of 7.
Is that right?
Right.
On the tennis team,
Basketball,
between a B and A average.
That's exactly right. Basketball team, 7 out of 17. Golf team, 9 out of 11.
So it's not all about athletics. A lot of it's academics as well, and that goes back to exactly what you were highlighting about the
Good
sports.
citizenship.
Sports really help focus not only on athleticism, but on citizenship and responsibility.
Interesting that the cumulative GPA of women's and men's sports at Coastal is higher than the general population in the student body.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
That is a
Absolutely.
very important
Yes.
figure to point out. Of course, as you talk about highlighting the upcoming fundraiser on Friday, June 29th, and really wanted to
Right.
drive home the need why someone would
Absolutely.
want to provide a $200 donation to your 501c3.
Greg, I don't want to ignore the ladies' success in the classroom either. 30 out of 35 on the track team have GPRs of between 3 and 4, and
Right.
31 out of 37 on the indoor track team.
Wow.
7 out of 8 on the tennis team, basketball team 8 out of 14, golf team 4 out of 5, and it's
And it goes on and on.
Right.
And the amazing thing there is you've highlighted all the tremendous numbers of sports
Right.
that folks could play at Coastal Carolina University.
Absolutely.
What are some of the other reasons? Of course, you've got a lot of great information. If someone was to call Melinda Hyman at the 234-3428 number, they could get one of these great Advancing the Dream brochures there that have a lot of information.
She'll mail them or make sure they get one of these, and
Sure.
and it explains in here the different levels from even a future Shant Club for children. 12 and under is $25 to join.
Have you joined your granddaughter?
Not yet.
Yeah,
but
you're about to. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm a teal man right now.
You're wearing that teal tie.
Yeah, and we have All-American, which is 3,000 plus, and all conferences is 2 to 3 and so forth. But
That's
have
great.
different levels of but it's a great school. The success of the athletic programs at Coastal has just been phenomenal in the last.
Oh yeah. How about that David Bennett?
He is a super guy, quality in every way. I mean, this may not be politically correct to say, but if you go in his dressing room, you'll find 10 scriptures from the Bible on the wall in his dressing room.
Is that right? At this state school, that's a big deal. I mean, it's
Yeah,
tough
it is.
pushing the envelope there at a public school.
Dave just he does not recruit players and let them run wild. He really rides hard on them. They're good students, good citizens. They go out in the community, and Dave and his wife are just super people and a great addition to our community.
Getting your degree almost 30 years ago, Tom, back in 1978, what's been the best aspect over the last 30 years of seeing some of the changes at Coastal?
Seeing Mr. Wall made a significant contribution, and in fact the School of Business is named the Wall School of Business.
Right.
And seeing the growth and the strength of the Wall School of Business is just phenomenal. I don't know whether it's true today, but several years ago, the graduates of the Wall School of Business in accounting were passing the CPA exam at a faster rate, first time through, than any school in the state.
Wow.
And I think they really turned out quality graduates. They've had major corporations like Pepsi go after their #1 graduates and that kind of thing.
I love it.
For their training program. So, I mean, I think they're doing a good job on the academic and athletic.
That's tremendous. Tom, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry we've run out of time.
I've enjoyed it, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Tom Towns coming up next. You know, I'm sorry we ran out of time to focus on the prison ministry program that Tom and Dr. Bill Green are doing for the female inmates locally, a purpose-driven life. There's a lot that has to happen to stay focused on helping others. This is a great example, the Chanticleer Club. And it's not all about sports and getting out and cheering on your team. It's about responsibility. It's about academics. You heard Tom recite some of those tremendous phone numbers. The cheers for the Chanticleers. It's really happening every day. 234-3428. That's 234-3428. Or you can go online to goccusports.com. The event's coming up Friday, June 29th. Write that number down. Give them a call. Be a part of the event to help out academics and responsibility.